Hey, listen, right? It was good while it lasted for Jake, okay? It was good while it lasted. It's not gonna last much longer. You're fat, Jake.
Just recently, Mike Tyson launched a scathing attack on Jake Paul, warning that he'll demolish Jake's boxing career, leaving a lot of smoke in the boxing community. Now, what exactly happened to provoke the ever-fierce Tyson? Let's break it all down in this video. Make sure you stick around till the end. Things have to be said as they are. 4 years in celebrity boxing don't make you a true contender. However, Jake Paul doesn't seem to agree with that fact. He's been seen all over the internet, bragging about defeating MMA fighters and retired athletes like he's the next face of pro boxing. He's been taunting Tyson in interviews, shooting countless arrows at the ever-reserved legend. But just when we thought Mike Tyson was going to ignore those barks due to the clear fact that he's above all that, at a press conference in Arlington, Texas, Tyson unleashed a verbal knockout in front of millions, making us believe Jake locked himself up in a room and cried his eyes out after that. It was not your regular comedy show.
I don't know if he's in his prime. He's fat. He should be lean and mean. He's fat and funky. I saw him with his shirt off the other day. He's fat. I thought, did you start training already?
Everyone knows Tyson's reputation in the boxing community, and we all know it's no child's play. He's typically quiet until provoked past his limit, then strikes without mercy. He publicly roasted the living daylight out of Jake, and to be honest, it would take quite some time to recover from the emotional damage. He even alleged that Jake's past wins were all staged, claiming to have proof. We'll talk about that later in the video. In an interview, Tyson called out Jake's victories. He claimed they were all staged, the fights were rigged, and opponents were paid to take a dive. Tyson didn't stop there. He also questioned the strength of Jake's boxing skills, stating his footwork is sloppy, his punches lack power, and his defense is almost non-existent. Tyson took it all as a joke, the idea that Jake could ever be a real contender, talkless, challenging someone like him. Tyson pulled receipts, including documents and testimonies from insiders who supported his claims about Jake's fixed fights. These revelations hit the boxing community, casting doubt on Jake's entire boxing career and equally raising serious concerns about the integrity of the celebrity boxer. Meanwhile, social media is out of control following the drama. Fans are divided, with some praising Tyson for speaking his truth and others defending Jake, arguing that Tyson's attack is driven by jealousy or a desire to stay relevant. Memes and hashtags are trending, turning this boxing feud into a full-blown internet spectacle.
Day 2, I'm getting ready for you.
Tyson has a history of crushing bones, and his current age doesn't look like it can change any of that. Coming at the great Mike Tyson should send some worries through your nerves, because there will be consequences, one way or the other. Even Joe Rogan once mentioned that Tyson's punches are like getting hit by a truck. This means one thing: this isn't ending anytime soon. Tyson's response at the Arlington press conference was a masterclass in verbal smackdowns, and Jake was left looking like a lost sheep. Tyson has one of the fiercest records in history, with 44 knockouts in 58 fights, becoming the youngest heavyweight champion at just 20. Not too shabby, right? On his podcast, Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, Tyson didn't mince words. I'm going to destroy him, plain and simple. This isn't a game. He laughed off Jake's boxing career, saying he hasn't yet faced a real fighter. And if we take a close look at it, Tyson isn't far from the truth. We all know Tyson's name is synonymous with brutality and power. His training regime is no joke. Coach Rafael Cordero has mentioned Tyson's relentless work ethic and ability to out-train boxers half his age, making it clear that this fight is anything but some random high school shenanigan. The gap in experience and skill between Tyson and Jake is super evident, and Tyson's response at the Arlington press conference was a knockout blow to Jake's raised shoulders. Jake has been coasting on victories over non-boxers, but he's now facing a real living legend who would feast on him even before the bell is gone. As Tyson prepares to enter the ring, the world watches, knowing that Jake has provoked a true beast of the ring.
You really thought I was partying? We out here, high altitude, Colorado Springs, with the Olympians Team USA Boxing. Let's get it. Let's go.
Fans are seated and closely observing that this isn't just some joke. Mike Tyson is prepping like he's in his prime. On the other hand, Jake has been training under boxing trainer BJ Flores with modern high-tech methods. Yet, he's never faced a fighter like Tyson. Tyson emphasized this difference, noting that high-tech training can't replicate the experience of a real boxing legend. While Jake's tech-savvy training might make for good social media content, Tyson's raw power and old-school grit are what truly make a champion. As Tyson points out, experience in the ring isn't something you can hack.
It's one thing to fight athletes, another thing to fight KSI. What in the hell went through your mind when you said, you know what, I want to fight Mike Tyson?
I love the biggest challenges in the world. That's what's made my whole entire career, is taking big risks.
The press conference crackled with tension as we all witnessed two figures from different boxing era face off. Jake, inspirited by his victories over non-boxers and a legion of social media followers, exuded youthful confidence, making his words charge the atmosphere. Right across from him, Mike Tyson, a titan of pro boxing, exuded a quiet intensity that spoke volumes. His career, marked by victories over legendary names, cast a long shadow over the proceedings. His words, when he spoke, carried the weight of decades spent in the ring. You could feel each word heavier than the last. In the midst of the media frenzy, Evander Holyfield, Tyson's former rival, and now a sage voice in boxing, cautioned, stating that Paul's underestimating Tyson, also saying he's not just a name from the past.
They say he's the baddest man on the planet, so let's find out. Apparently he's the final boss, moving up to heavyweight and continue to prove all these dumbasses wrong. That's what I do my whole entire life.
Unshaken, Jake continued his provocations on social media, boldly claiming he's the future of boxing and that Tyson's time is over. His words reverberated through the boxing world, stirring debate and drawing criticism from boxing fans and enthusiasts who see Tyson as an irreplaceable icon. As the fight approaches, all betting odds are heavily in favor of Tyson, reflecting a consensus among fans and experts alike that experience and proven ability in the ring outweighed Paul's bravado. Analysts, seeing all the stunts being pulled by Paul, dissected his strategy as a heavy distraction targeted at Tyson. Lennox Lewis, another boxing great, remarked, "Paul's poking a lion he can't control." This struck a chord as Tyson's rigorous training regimen hinted at a resurgence, a reminder that age hadn't dulled the fire that made him a feared opponent in his prime. Amidst the anticipation, the boxing world held its breath. Would Paul's youthful exuberance prove a match for Tyson's seasoned mastery? Guessing, we'll only find out after the fight. The boxing ring represents a stark departure from the comfortable world of social media where Paul thrives. Tyson's punches are not mere strikes. They are formidable enough to send an opponent to another world. The impact of Tyson's blows is so devastating that opponents would count themselves lucky for leaving the ring breathing, even when they feel their bones in pieces. Paul is clearly not facing the harsh reality standing before him, which calls for concern. Tyson's punches are not just normal skills, they are of both power and precision. Paul Jake's drama may have stirred up the boxing community and kept his name trending for quite some time, but they did little to prepare him for the daunting challenge ahead. All those talks will only end online. Reality happens in the ring, with the legend. Tyson's history of taking down opponents isn't merely a string of victories. It's a testament to his unmatched skill and strength. When Tyson faced Larry Holmes in 1988, the former champion was knocked out in the 4th round, as resilient and powerful as he was. While Paul keeps teasing Tyson, the seriousness of the situation he is getting himself into becomes more apparent. This is not just another exhibition on YouTube. It is a genuine fight against one of the greatest boxers ever. Jake has consistently taken on boxing with an attitude that fails to understand the gravity of boxing fully. He seemed to have impulsively challenged Mike Tyson, not fully understanding the consequences. In 1997, Jake was only 27 years old and raised in a world full of social media, which can warp one's sense of reality. Let's look at this. Jake Paul's boxing career is strategically planned and executed precisely and very telling. He has been very careful to avoid fights with real professional boxers, opting instead to choose opponents mainly from different fields. Jake set the stage in his first fight by defeating YouTuber Deji Olatunji, who did not have any professional boxing background, with a TKO in the 5th round. Following that, there were additional high-profile matches with Jake facing non-boxers to generate as much public interest as possible, which he did, by the way. He quickly defeated another YouTuber, Anderson Jib, with a first-round TKO, and then famously knocked out ex-NBA player Nate Robinson in the 2nd round in November 2020. Even though Robinson had a strong history in sports, being a champion in the NBA, he did not have any experience in boxing. Jake's upcoming opponent was Ben Askren, a former MMA fighter recognized for his wrestling skills rather than striking capabilities. Jake triumphed over him in the initial round. Jake Paul's progress in boxing seems carefully planned to make the most of excitement and interest from the public, rather than focusing on authentic boxing. The record he has meticulously selected prompts discussions about the quality of his opponents and his actual boxing abilities. When facing experienced professionals, Jake Paul has been very intentional in choosing his opponents. He's avoided real danger by avoiding bouts with experienced professional boxers. This intentional approach has allowed him to establish a remarkable track record without facing real challenges. Jake has transformed his fights into extravagant media events that bring in substantial pay-per-view earnings by using his fame. Although there is controversy surrounding his approach, Jake's strategy has proven effective. He holds a boxing record of 9 victories, 6 by KO, and 1 loss. Nevertheless, these triumphs have only been achieved against non-professional boxers. This has led to much criticism in the boxing world, as many doubt the validity of his achievements. Jake Paul clearly follows a pattern observed in society, seeking speedy and effortless paths to the top. In his boxing career, he has found success and wealth without experiencing the usual difficulties and struggles of the game. Jake has strategically selected his opponents, allowing him to achieve fame without conforming to the sport's usual expectations, prompting discussions about the legitimacy and worth of his success. Although his boxing career has skyrocketed quickly, it is primarily due to carefully chosen opponents and publicity rather than actual boxing abilities. As Jake gets ready to confront Tyson, the world will witness if his methodical strategy can endure the harsh truth of battling an experienced champion. That's why Jake Paul has constantly been the focal point of scandal, particularly concerning the legitimacy of his fights. In any case, we're here to experience Tyson and Jake's clash in the ring to know the best way to end this debate. But until then, we've come to the end of the video. Don't hesitate to share your thoughts with us in the comments, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for further updates. See you in the next video.